My brothers and sisters, it is that time again. Happy New Year if we haven't spoken this year. My name is Lucy Kuria, all the way in Nairobi, 5 a.m. right now. I'm a lifestyle director too in this business, aspiring to move on. Those are some of the goals I have in the next few months. And today it's my pleasure to be hosting you during this first forensic call of 2023. I am here to learn with you. Let us stay forensic. And at this moment, I want to introduce the person who's going to take us through this session, this evening, this morning. This is an incredible, incredible gentleman, father of two amazing boys, husband to one beautiful and gorgeous lady. I love his demeanor. He's my mentor because he's one person who, when he talks, you better have your phone next to you to record because everything that comes from him, you will need to apply. So if you don't have a book with you, always have your phone ready to record because of what he has in store for us and what he always has in store for us. Anytime you call him, irrespective of wherever he is in the world, you will get him. He has assisted me so many times personally, and it is my pleasure to invite our lifestyle director for youngest earner in this company. When I think of what he's achieved for himself and what I was doing at his age, it is like night and day. But you know what? I'm here to get inspired. This is not anyone else rather than our Renee Liao. Forensic Night, Renee. I'm so super excited to invite you to this call. Kindly tell us what you have in store for us this Forensic 2023 year of transformation.
Wow. Well, again, first and foremost, again, a very happy new year to you, Lucy. I know that I think we already have spoken many times just before the New Year's and even after the New Year's.
Yes.
And we have a great call tonight. Fantastic call tonight. I'm really excited. For those of
Sure.
you who are expecting, of course, our amazing, wonderful CEO and founder, Mr. Rami Masgarli. Unfortunately, he couldn't make the call this evening. And when he asked me, could I cover for him? I said, absolutely. I just love doing the forensic calls and more importantly, getting a chance to be with our Opulence Global families. So again, a very good morning, good afternoon, good evening, a happy new year. The key word is it's a new year, 2023, wishing everyone prosperity, health, happiness, joy. And tonight we have a really fun call tonight. I hope you have your pen and paper ready because we're gonna be doing a lot of stuff together. And again, Lucy, I just want to say to you, fantastic again on just becoming the host of the month. You inspire so many people around the globe, and for being in a country like Kenya and being able to just, rock that market the way that you guys do, it's just so inspiring. And you constantly give me a lot of goals too on what's really possible, of course, within Auckland. So thank you, Lucy, for being the host of the month.
Thank you, Renee. We are learning from the best. Thank you.
It's I really believe that, in every market we have a few people that really get that market going, that fuel the life into that market. Lucy, Nancy, and Lucy, for sure, the three of you, in my eyes, have led the Kenya market as well too. So hats off to you for that. And wouldn't that be a nice goal, right? To be able to lead a new country. And that's going to be the purpose of today's call. New year, we always want to start off with setting ourselves some new goals. And I thought it'd be best to start this first forensic networker call of the year, of the season, with a video clip that I had posted on my Facebook page. And it's from one of my favorite sort of actors. We all know Mr. Denzel Washington, yes? So here is just a really quick video that, again, I thought would be timingly perfect to play this video. I'll play it 2 or 3 times in case your audio is going to be a little bit there, but here's just the video I thought would be a perfect way to start tonight's call. So here we go.
Dreams without goals, come on, just dreams, come on, and ultimately they fuel disappointment. Exactly. On the road to achieving your dreams, you must apply discipline, but more importantly, consistency, because without commitment, you'll never start, but without consistency, you'll never finish.
Wow. I'm gonna play that one more time in case some of you had the audio lag, because this one just hits it right in the gutter.
Dreams without goals are just dreams. Come on. And ultimately, they fuel disappointments. Exactly. On the road to achieving your dreams, you must apply discipline, but more importantly, consistency. Because without commitment, you'll never start. But without consistency, you'll never finish. Dreams without goals are just dreams. Come on. And ultimately, they fuel disappointments. Exactly. On the road to achieving your dreams, you must apply discipline, but more importantly, consistency. Because without commitment, you'll never start. But without consistency, you'll never finish.
Wow. If you like that, give me some thumbs up. Because for me, that just pretty much summarizes the purpose of today's call. And I think that a lot of people, you know, we always talk about these New Year resolutions, these New Year, you know, we're gonna make this year completely different. And a lot of people set these sort of New Year resolutions, but to me, it's almost like having this dream, right? It's great to have a resolution, but do you have like a plan of action, right? You know, maybe you want to lose. So my New Year resolution could be, you know, I want to lose weight. I want to fit into my size 32 jeans. It's a nice dream to have. The question is, do you have the commitment and the consistency? And more importantly, do you have a plan of action to lose that weight? What is your plan of action, right? So again, having dreams are great, but you must have a plan of action. And so that really brings me back to when I first got started, you know, and attending my first meetings in network marketing and meeting all these top income earners. You're like, wow, they make so much money. You know, they have a great life. They're traveling the world with their families and they don't have a job. They can wake up when they want to wake up, sleep when they want to sleep, nap when they want to nap, you know, shop for whatever they want to buy. And you know, I want to be like that. And again, dreams can fuel disappointment without, in our case, for Forensic Networker, having a plan of action, you know, a method of operation. And it's funny, I've met some people that have these huge dreams, which you gotta have those huge dreams. Would you all agree? But you gotta have the big dreams, right? You know, if you have a small dream, it's almost too easy to achieve, and you're not gonna shoot for anything higher, right? So you gotta have the big dreams. But what's also important, team? Like, what do you think is important besides having these big dreams? Like, what else do we need to have? And that video kind of gave away part of it. But again, if you have these big dreams, yeah, a plan. You gotta have a plan. And so some people have these really, really sort of, you know, short-term goals. And so you gotta have goals. We're talking about goals, and plans and goals. And the one thing that really helped me in my, I guess, success of career from a young age, I'm now 42, of course. I've been in this company now for about 15 years, for those who don't know, is having to really set goals, but not just any kind of goals. We gotta set what we call short-term goals, medium-term goals, and we gotta set ourselves long-term goals. So please, folks, if you don't have a piece of paper and pen, please go and grab one really quickly. I don't like using, you know, computer or your phone because it can distract you too easily. You know, things can pop up in your face. So if you can, please grab yourself a paper and pen, you know what I mean? Because there's nothing else to distract you except, you know, nothing. Because, you know, it's a pen and your paper, and hopefully my voice that's going to be in your ear as well too, right? So I got mine here as well too, my trusty little book here that I always keep with me. I do all my meetings here. Here we go, right? And so today we want to set ourselves, and right then the first thing is that dreams can feel disappointments unless we have goals, right? We got to have the goals set. So what we want to do right now is what I did, at least. You can start from your short-term goals to like your long-term goals. But I guess being like a a software engineer, what we always learned in software engineering sometimes was to start with what you want to accomplish in the end and reverse engineer it. So it's funny, you can actually take, some piece of equipment or a car even, and you can actually reverse engineer on how you actually make that car. So you want to have the Mercedes, AMG class, or the Bugatti, or the whatever car you want to drive, and you can actually reverse engineer it to find out, well, what are the pieces and components and the goals you got to set and the plan of action you got to take to get to that final goal. And I can tell you right now, just from experience, if we don't set these goals, if we don't write these things down, then we don't have a plan of action. Without plan of action, right, you can't create consistency. And without that, of course, it's going to feel, as you heard in the video from Mr. Denzel Washington, dreams without goals will ultimately fuel disappointment. And we don't want that, right? We want to start 2023 the right way. And I encourage all of you to join me today to, put that stake in the ground. To know what, we're going to make 2023 different. We're going to do things differently. If 2022 didn't work out the way you want to work out, we got to do something different, improve upon ourselves. And I think the biggest part of starting that process is to set your goals. And I recall when I was much younger, started setting these goals here, from the bigger goals. And I looked, okay, well, what do I got to do in my so I have my 10-year goal. Then I want to set my 5-year goal. Then I want to set my 2-year goals. Then I want to set my 1-year goals. Then I want to set my monthly and my daily goals, right? So let's get this thing going, team. So the first thing you want to write down, let's just dream big for a moment here. We're going to do the big goals, right? Like the big dreams, okay? The big dreams, the big dreams. And the only rule when we're making these big dreams, all right, is there's no rule, okay? I don't want you to think that these dreams are limited by the income you make right now, or by the circumstance that you're living in, or by the challenges that you're going through. Imagine your dream life. Just close your eyes. What does that look like to you? Okay, think endlessly. You have all the money in the world. What does that dream life look for you? And put that down, right? Some quick, easy things to write down is the size of your home, how many bedrooms, 10, 15. Do you want to have a pool, infinity pool? Is your pool outdoor? Do you want to have a half indoor, half outdoor pool? Do you want to have a tennis court, basketball court? Again, these big dreams, you do not hold back. Don't hold back. And sometimes we have to stretch our imagination to these, what you might think is crazy ideas. But every single person that's ever became a billionaire or multi-millionaire were probably crazy. They had crazy dreams, crazy goals, right? And they've been told, you're crazy. But you got to have them. That's what it takes, right? So right now, go on, start writing that stuff down, right? What kind of car do you want to have? SUV for the winter, sports car in the summertime. What's that car? Maybe you want to travel, right? Write down the countries that you would like to visit. Maybe your big goal is to be able to travel to one new country every few months. Maybe your dream is to do insane mission work and donations and charities all over the world, helping people build their homes, maybe plant trees. I don't know, whatever that might be for you. Who are you spending your time with? Who are you traveling with? Who do you want to take with you, to your private island, right? Guys, have fun with this, because you never do it. You never do this stuff anyways. So you might as well do it on this beautiful start to 2023. We just had our amazing New Year mega call. And boy, oh boy, can we ever take the right opportunity and make big things happen. So I hope you've got something going down there for your big dreams, right? Okay, so now we had the big dreams. That's great. Now let's write the let's call it dreams. So we won't call it big dreams. We're going to call it the dreams. All right. And this is something that you might want to accomplish for yourself in the next sort of 2 to 5 years. So the big dreams was like, massive dreams, but right now we want to focus on what can we create in the next 2 to 5 years, right? 2 to 5 years, 2 to 5 years. And I say 2 to 5 because some people can do this in 2 years. Some might take 5 years. So let's do 2 to 5 years. All right. And right now we want to get a bit more specific. A bit more specific. And what I mean by that is let's start putting in some income goals. So write down your income target. Let's look at how much income would you want to be earning in 2 to 5 years. 2 to 5 years. If you're there with me, give me some reactions, like crying or laughing or heart, thumbs up. I don't know. Okay, we got some people still there with me. That's great. So income target, right? 2 to 5 years. What is your income target? Okay. Also write down, because again, I think a good income target is one that's enough to allow you to walk away from your job, because that's going to be eating your time, right? And so here's a tip. You want to always take what you're making after tax. Okay, so let's say, I'll give you an example of what I mean by that. So I knew that at TELUS, I was making about $80,000 a year before tax, right? So after tax, I'll just ballpark it, is about 48,000, okay, like after tax. So 48,000 after tax divided by 12 months meant that I wanted to make 4,000 a month. You guys follow so far? So on 80,000 a year salary, after paying taxes in Canada, I was just going to ballpark $48,000. So my monthly income divided by 12, right? 48,000 divided by 12 was 4,000 a month. The cool thing about being self-employed is in Opulence, to match the 4,000 a month after tax income, right? The cool thing is you can write off your expenses. So in Opulence, most likely, if you made, so what we'll do here is the 80,000 I was making, which is before tax, divided by about 12 months, it was almost about 6,500 per month, right? That I had to make to get 4,000 per month after taxes. When you're self-employed, the money that you earn, you can actually write off all of your expenses. So you actually don't need to make the 6,500 per month or the 80,000 a year. Pretty much, if you can make about 5,000 a month in Opulence, because you can write off all these expenses, you're probably taking home with you about 4,000 per month. So I hope that makes sense. Because again, in a job, you got to pay taxes. When you're self-employed, you can write off all your expenses and really drop down your income. And the cool thing is now you get some extra benefits because you're a lower income bracket, right? You may get some, extra benefits from the government. Anyway, that's not really important, right? So 5,000 a month was actually my target. Again, do what you got to do for you, because you have different circumstances. Maybe you have, more children, more wives, more husbands. I'm just kidding, right? Maybe you just have higher expenses, you have more cars. I don't know, right? So everyone has their own specific circumstance. But for me, it was about 5,000 per month. All right. So 5,000 per month was my sort of income target. And because that would allow me to walk away from my job. Okay. And I think that's really a great dream to have, because once you get to that point where you're doing about 5,000 a month, or it could be 3,000 a month, it could be like 2,000 a month, right? Where, you know, again, because my 5,000 a month is because I had these, I guess, you know, back 14 years ago, I had a considered high paying income. If you're perhaps a bit lower, you don't need to have as much, right? So whatever you got to do to be able to walk away from that job, I think is a great 2 to 5 year plan. All right. Because again, that now allows you to also have some other dreams like traveling more often, right? And so the beauty of opulence is if you love to travel, like who here loves to travel? Just give us some thumbs up, right? I mean, I think almost everyone loves to travel. I mean, how cool would it be as like a long-term big dream to be able to visit every country in the world that you love, and while you're there, be able to go and expand your business, because opulence is global. That's what we're called, opulence global, not opulence non-global, right? We got to dream big, right? So again, so that's a big dream, right? You know, and I've been so blessed. Like last year, I think I went to over like 13 countries last year, and you know, hopping around and bringing my family with me, right? But now we're at the dreams. By being able to quit our job allows us to take a few more trips, because we're not stuck to a job, to just over broke and being stuck in a cubicle or 9 to 5 hours or whatever that might be, and travel to a few more markets, right? So I think in the dream, the 2 to 5 years, list down just a few countries. So, you know, pick a few countries. It could be Mexico, although I wouldn't suggest certain parts of Mexico right now, because of course you watch the news and the son of the cartel member was arrested. That, anyways, we're not going to talk politics today. My point is just choose a few countries that you'd like to visit this year. Now, if you already have teams in other countries, what do you think should be on your list of countries to go and visit? Right? What do you think? It should be those countries, right? So if you have a team in Singapore, write down Singapore. You have a team in Kenya, write down Kenya. If you have teams in Israel, write down Israel. If you have teams in somewhere in the States, somewhere in Europe, Australia, wherever that might be, let's write down 2 or 3 countries that we want to put as part of our dreams. Because again, might as well as go and build in a country that can make you more income, and of course also allow you to see some new places, right? So now that we have the dreams in place, now that we have the income target, all right, we want to keep on getting more and more specific. We want to keep nailing things down and kind of, you know, I guess almost like peeling the layers of the onion, get really, really detailed on and reverse engineering now what we need to do to get to this 5,000 a month. So again, this to me is also like your long-term goals, right? Now, what we want to do right now is really get specific and look at, okay, well, what are our really sort of short-term goals? So in other words, having a plan of action. And I think right now, knowing that you want to make that income per month, whether it's at 5,000 per month or 3,000 per month, let's try to look at really what we got to be doing on a daily basis to get, or a weekly basis to get to these goals. So what do you think, guys? Let's have some volunteers here. What do you think we got to do, okay, to get to these goals? Like, what should we be doing, you know, on a weekly or daily basis to get to this? And another really great, again, okay, so now I want you to write down, all right? These are your short, again, so again, to me, the dreams and big dreams are like your long-term goals. We also got to have the short-term goals. Things that, again, write down short-term goals, things that can be accomplished pretty quickly. One thing you want to write here for sure in your short-term goals is what's your next rank? What's the rank you want to attain? Write that down. So if you're in LA, what's a good short-term goal? Probably LD1. If you're LD1, what's a good short-term goal? LD2, right? If you're LD2 right now, what's a good short-term goal? Perhaps LD3. Because your long-term goals, that's going to be probably 2 or 3 ranks down the road. So right now, whatever level you're at, put in your short-term goal what that is. If for Henry, it's going to be becoming an LD4, right? LD4. And the beautiful thing about doing this exercise with me today is you know exactly what you got to do to achieve these ranks, right? If you want to become an LD4, like Henry just said, he's got to have 2 LD3s. He's got to have that group CV volume. He's got to have that, that PGV, right? Now, if you're just a LA and you want to become a LD1, you already know you got to bring in 2 LAs that each bring in 2 LAs. So let's write down those specifics. So again, do you know what you got to do to reach that next rank? And write that down. That's got to become part of your short-term goals. All right, so let me do you all a favor right now. And because I think it's really important to set this goal because it's directly related to the business. It's going to open up our beautiful document we have in the back office here. For one quick moment here. And show you all. Let's skip down here. Again, if you're in LA, your first goal should be becoming an LD1. And an LD1, you want to launch 2 LAs, and those 2 also launch their 2. So that should be your short-term goal. Launch 2 LAs and have those 2 launch their own 2. Now, I'm going to share my screen here so you can see here. Of course, if for Henry, I'll just use him as our example here. He wants to become an LD4. The LD4, he's got to have here, let's see here, the qualifications. So you got to be LD3, which he is, doing his monthly 150. And so Henry wants to help mentor 2 level 1 partners to achieve LD3. That should be in his short-term goal. And he wants to have, of course, the minimum group volume of 150,000. At least 50,000 in each team. And of course, personal group volume of 225. Now, if you don't know what this stuff is, don't worry about it, because you can get to that later on, but you got to write down those goals. You gotta write them down, those short-term goals, short-term targets, right? Now, vice versa, if you're in LD3, then you want to launch 2 LD2s, right? 1 on each side, 1 left, 1 right, and have this group volume or this PGD. If you want to become an LD2, right? So again, this document is available in your back office. So please, 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 whatever it is that you want to rank up, that's going to be a fantastic, fantastic goal to have. All right. Now, of course, becoming rank advanced, what's another really good short-term goal to have on a monthly basis? So let's look at now our monthly goals. Okay. That's also part of your short-term goals. So short-term goals is good. Now, let's write down what will be our monthly goals. What's a good goal to have every single month, team? I think we all know this. Yes, I already saw the answer. What is a good monthly goal? Definitely becoming MGRS qualified. What else? Now, if you're MGRS qualified and you're getting to these next ranks, there we go. Maria said it. Also write down getting CAR qualified. Isn't it kind of cool? Like when you start with these huge dreams, if we don't do this exercise today, we don't really know what we got to do to get there. That's why Denzel said, dreams without goals ends up with oftentimes it can fuel disappointment. It'll actually fuel disappointment. is actually getting you to this point faster, but with these goals here. Isn't it kind of cool? Right? So we have MGS, we have car qualified. What's going to be a really good monthly goal starting in February? Hint, hint, it's one of the biggest announcements that we had from the New Year mega call. Okay, what's that huge announcement that they made? Actually, we're almost there. Oh, thank you, Lucy, because yeah, the cruise. I mean, talk about a short-term goal. That cruise is happening in March. You better put getting on that cruise as a short-term goal. And whether, here's a funny thing. I guess just to be politically, correct here, and here's my thoughts about the cruise. Let's say I was not qualified, because if you're qualified to go for the cruise, it's free. And if you hit LD2, it's free. You should just go. Does that make sense? Because it's free, right? I mean, it's worth paying for a flight, and to get on a cruise that you got on for free. But really, beyond getting on the cruise, this cruise is not just any cruise, right? And yes, the cruise is sold out, but I believe we might have another way. I'll get back to you on that, but this is sort of really, I guess, on top of the point. But to me, the real value of the cruise is not just the cruise, right? What's the real value of this cruise? Yeah. I mean, you're not going on a cruise where it's just you, maybe your family, and a bunch of strangers, or maybe a few friends who don't even have and share the same goals that you have. I mean, I would pay extra. Like if this cruise cost me $2,000, and I just had a credit card with some money on it, to be able to be on a cruise and be around, number one, the CEO and founder of this company, the senior vice president, the sales development managers, the general managers, all the top leaders in the company. You can pick their brains. You can get stories upon stories, testimonials upon testimonials. Like you could just ask every single person on the cruise, hey, can you share with me a few of your best testimonials? Do you have it on your phone? Can you send me a copy of that? You would blow up your phone with so many product testimonials. I mean, but to be able to pick the brains. I mean, some people pay money to attend seminars, just to hear certain people speak, or to listen, I don't know. I mean, here you get a chance to get personal mentorship, training, spend 5 solid days with the people who want to see you succeed. It's not like those family trips where you're like with this aunt and uncle who, if you talk to them about your business, they kind of shut you down. It's not like that, right? Right? This is about being around people. And so again, you cannot put a dollar value to that. I would much rather go on this cruise than go on a cruise stuck with some family members that I absolutely dislike, right? I think you can agree upon that, right? When I was young, parents took us on these bus tours. It's like an 8-day bus tour, my God, across Canada. I mean, again, I appreciated the time, but still, it's like, I just, and often my parents are arguing on the bus. And anyways, my point is, my whole point is this cruise here is a great short-term goal to have. And if we announce there's more ways to get on this cruise, I highly suggest you to get on this cruise. If you miss this cruise, I just think if you didn't have a legit reason, and there aren't many legit reasons, that can top the benefits of being on this cruise. I mean, yeah. Anyways, don't ever miss a cruise because you cannot put a price tag on that. Again, I mean, we're all getting free Wi-Fi as well. There's all these perks that the company throws in on these cruises. I've been on so many cruises and it'll change you, you know. So anyways, I'm not going here to promote that stuff. But as part of your monthly goals and your short-term goals, I think it's a great goal to have to get on the cruise somehow, right? So, but anyways, but what's another really great short-term goal to have, or monthly goal to have, sorry, starting next month? Well, the CEO did announce that we have a new bonus that's coming out. What's that new bonus, team? The variance bonus. The variance bonus that comes with all that. And you want to be launching LA pluses, right? Some people call it lap, and I kind of made a joke. Yeah, just go for a few laps, you know. So the variance bonus is supposed to be essentially, according to our CEO, released by February. Put that down into your monthly goals. Get qualified for your variant, your VB, the variance bonus. It could be an extra $1,000, $1,500 Canadian per month. I mean, if your goal was to make like $3,000 per month, this variance bonus would take you halfway there. And you don't need to have a big team, by the way, right? Because as long as you have a lot of laps or a lot of LE pluses launching your team, that builds up the pool for your share. Every LAP puts $250 into the pool, right? And LD1s and LD2s get 2 shares. Now LD3 and 4 get 1 share. So again, it's going to be fully announced and fully trained upon. But should we add the VB into our monthly bonus team? What do you think? Yeah, I think we should. Yeah, I think it makes sense, right? So let's add the variance bonus into our monthly goals. All right. So we started with the big dreams. Then we got to the dreams, which I kind of termed 2 to 5 years, what you want to accomplish. And by the way, I'm telling you, the reason why you got to have these short-term goals and sort of, you know, monthly goals, and we're gonna get to down to our weekly goals soon and to our daily goals in a second, is because you're always, in any kind of business, you're always going to run into doo-doo heads, sunblocks, negative people, doomsday people, drama people. And you know what? My best suggestion is just expect it. You know, so you know what? It's going to happen. It happens in regular family life. It might happen in your family, maybe even in your direct family. I don't know. It happened in my family with my dad and my mom. It might happen amongst your friends. It's going to happen in your job. You know, doo-doo happens sometimes, right? And here's a really interesting way of looking at it. You know, remember I used to use this example in my trainings when I was much younger. Do you want to hear this cool? It's called the I don't know. I'm just gonna make this up. It's called the doo-doo story. Have y'all heard it before? The doo-doo story. Probably like, what is Renee talking about right now? like, do I really want to hear this story? I might regret when. Okay, so should I share this story? I think it's really powerful because it helped me get over, you know, drama people and the bad times and the challenges and the downs and the valleys. All right, so here we go. Okay, disclaimer: you asked for it. All right. Okay, you asked for it, so don't blame me if you go to bed tonight. You're thinking about doo-doo all night long. All right, so I better drink water first before I share this. So here we go. To some people, you know, that you see you're walking down the street, and there's a huge pile of doo-doo. Huge. I mean, you just can't miss it. I mean, you can't even. It's huge. It's formed perfectly. All the right ridges. Okay, I don't know. Maybe I look at poo too much. The whole point though is that the doo-doo is very obvious. You know, you can probably smell it from like 10 feet away, right? And so what happens is most people, all right, what do? Most people, you just walk around it. Yes? Okay, you make sure you clear that doo-doo, because once you step in it, you gotta toss your shoes in the garbage because you just can't get rid of that smell unless you have your fairy microsilver spray. Okay. You're right. Yeah, I think I'm painting a really good picture, right? So it's a beautiful day, you know, and the doo-doo's fresh and the sun's beating on it. It's heating it up, you know, you can almost see the fog and the smell coming from it, and you gotta walk around that thing. And that's a smart thing to do. So some people, they kind of walk around it, you know, and they keep moving forward. Some people who see this exact same, yeah, I'm sorry, you know, I find that these kind of trainings really stick in your head for a long time, right? So, so some people though, all right, will see the exact same thing and they'll be like, wow, look at that thing. Oh, that's disgusting. And they'll look at it and they're walking by and they're still looking at it, you know, and they've passed it and they're still looking back at it. They're like, wow, you know, and they're kind of holding their nose, but they're still walking by and they're, you know, that's truly a magnificent sight. It's just truly formed, perfectly rigid shape, color, you know, they're just looking, they're admiring it. They're really enjoying this doo-doo on the floor. Right? But eventually they move on. But they got kind of distracted for a while. I think we all see where I'm going with this, right? Some other people, you know, they get attracted to these things. It's nasty. It's not helpful. It's negative. It's not good, right? It could ruin your day. You know, it makes you want to plug your nose. And some people who approach this thing, they see it, and they, you know, they almost like, they're so intrigued with this that they give so much attention, and they kind of get down to this thing. You know, they get really close to it, and they're taking photos and selfies with it. I don't know, right? And they stare at it, and now they can really smell that stench, and they can just, you know, they can it ruins their day. It ruins their mindset. Now they're totally distracted. Their mood's off, you know, and their whole day's shot. You know, they really got impacted by the same thing that some other people just walked right by it without ever paying a single attention. We're going to take it one step further, team. Are you ready for this? Are you all ready for this, right? They're like, no, stop, Renee. Should I finish the story? Should I? Okay. Our one host says, yeah, or Joy says, yeah, try super, right? Some people, and I hope it's not you, it's like, finish it, right? Some people get so distracted by this. They can't believe it. You know, they want to get part of the action. You know, they get into it, you know, they'll put their shoe into it, smudge it around just to they want to make sure it was what it was, right? They want to make sure it's negative. You know, it's almost like asking questions of drama. You want to open up that drama, that can of worms, and entertain negativity and get sucked into it, right? They step into it, and you know, they scrub it on the floor. Oh yeah, it really is, you know, doo-doo. But they still don't believe it. What do? Aside from making physical contact, right? Yeah, they pitch a tent, right, Tony? They put their finger in it. And they know, wow, that really is some incredible, dude. It's really bad smell. It's really negative. It's disgusting. And that's not even enough, you know? You gotta just give it a taste, right? So my whole point, team, is this for some reason, I don't know where I heard this from, but it always sank in with me, you know, that when you encounter negativity, some people, they just spend so much time, trying to change people, trying to change that doo-doo into chocolate. Maybe that's tonight's moral of the lesson. You can't change doo-doo into chocolate, right? Doo-doo will always be doo-doo. And the best thing you can do is just keep moving on forward. But the reason why we're talking about doo-doo in the first place, right, is because, again, if we have these big dreams and we don't have our targets, we can sometimes get distracted really easily. And having these goals, these monthly, weekly, daily goals, keeps us moving forward quickly to avoid these kind of negative situations. Keep moving forward. Yes, keep moving forward, right? And so I hope somehow that doesn't give you nightmares, and that next time you encounter negativity, that maybe the story reminds you to keep on going to the next. And, and the beautiful thing is that so many people have so many other people who require their help. There's millions of people out there who want to hear from you, who are looking for Fountain of Life, who are looking for clinical, they're looking for the Sterling, they're looking for an opportunity, and they're just beyond that doo-doo, waiting to hear from you, but you got stuck, you got caught sticking your finger into some business that you never should have put your finger into. You took a taste of it, and now it's ruined your day. And for, I don't know, now you're gonna go home, you gotta brush your teeth, you gotta, Listerine it, you gotta microspray it, you gotta brush your teeth for 10 weeks. It's disturbed you for months now. So I really hope this, some disturbingly way, helps you to get on past that. All right, we're running out of time here, but if you enjoyed the story, give me a thumbs up. If you didn't, well, thanks for listening. So anyhow, on to our weekly goals. All right. You're very welcome, team. It's like I didn't sign up for this kind of training, this fine evening, right? But somehow it worked for me, and hey, maybe it might work for you, right? Okay, weekly goals. So we have our monthly goals: MGRS, car qualified, variance bonus, right? Now we got to reverse engineer that. How do we get to becoming MGRS qualified? How do we get to becoming car qualified? How do we get to becoming variance bonus qualified? Now we got to break it down to what we got to do on a weekly basis, right? So on a weekly basis, what do you think we got to be doing? Well, let's reverse engineer what we need for MGRS. For MGRS, what's the basic thing we got to do to qualify for MGRS? What are some of the requirements, team? Write these down. These are good weekly goals. Don't do it once per month. Yes, right? We gotta have a VIP that does $200 in retail sales. Write that down into your weekly goals. Yes, weekly. You should be getting VIP sales weekly. Okay? Doesn't matter if it's someone who buys online as a VIP, or they buy it through you and you open up a VIP account for them and bought the bottles on that account and give it to them in hand. You want to have a VIP. Yes, launch a new LA or take a few laps, right? LA plus, right? That's a great weekly goal. VIP 200, LA plus LAP. What else do we got to have, team, to qualify for our MGRS? We need to have the VIP. Now it's easier. Doesn't have to be a new VIP every month. It could be any VIP from the past. We got to have the LA or the LA plus. Yeah, it could be the momentum package. Although I might just launch 3 or 4 LAs instead of doing a momentum package, right? Okay. Yeah, you gotta have your 150 shopping credit. That's a no-brainer. We're missing one thing here, team, for the MGRS. It's CV that you generate. Yes. Is that barbecue? I'm kidding. Don't do it. Barbecues will not get you to MGRS, all right? unless you're prospecting. But yeah, BQV team. You almost had it. Okay, BQV. Yes, BQV. BQV. We gotta have our BQV. Which is a CV. Yeah, no worries that you generate, right? The 750 BQV. Awesome. Now we're going to take it one step further. All right, because again, these are the same qualifications as the car bonus, and we'll know what is the variance bonus qualifications in February. We're going to modify the weekly goals when that comes out. So we had our monthly goals, we had our weekly goals. Now we got to do what, team? We had our monthly goals, we had our weekly goals. What's going to be the next goals that we should set, team? Yeah, write that down. Daily goals. We gotta write down our daily goals now. Daily goals. If you do this business sometimes, you will make money sometimes. Right? You do this business like a part-time, you make money part-time. So our daily goal. So what do you think? Again, we're going to take the weekly goals, which is the VIP 200. Launching a new LA or LA Plus, the 150 shopping carts is easy, and the BQV is 750, right? Okay, well, to get to that, let's reverse engineer what we gotta do to get this VIP 200 or to launch a new LA. So what do you think we gotta do here, team, on a daily basis to get to those weekly goals? How do we get a VIP of $200? How do we get a new LA? Or how do we get the BQV 750? Aha. You're really micro, what's that word called? Micro something. We're microfying what we gotta do, right? Prospect. We gotta be prospecting. Write that down. We gotta be talking to people. Talking to people. Let's change that. Talking to new people. Please write down talking to new people daily. Talking to new people daily. I think it'd be best to finish with this quick story. I actually did a quick coaching call. I won't mention any names. And this person wanted to, set some goals. Fantastic. I love that. They're already thinking ahead of time. They want to set some goals on what to do for 2023 to achieve their targets. And, they had got some great suggestions, of course, from the other My Five. And when they came to me, I just asked this person, well, what's some of the other things that your other My Fives has shared with you? And they're fantastic suggestions as well. And so the one thing that I had noticed was that this particular amazing partner that we had done a lot of great stuff online, a lot of social media stuff, fantastic. They were really active on it, talking to a lot of people, doing that kind of stuff, right? And the one thing that I did want to suggest, I think it's so important to definitely mention this on the topic of what we're doing today, is now that really COVID's, the most of the fear is gone. People have gone back to normal life. I've traveled so much the last year. I traveled to Singapore, Malaysia, Thailand, and Taiwan, and I never even wore a mask. Only in Taiwan, when I go into a shopping mall, they still had the masking criteria, but in the public, you don't have to wear a mask. And people are back to going out. The malls are full, the coffee shops are full, right? So where do you think I'm going with this? My suggestion to this person was, all the things that you're doing, on your computer or on your iPad or tablet or phone, and doing your business at home, just don't do it at home. Go do it, for example, in a coffee shop. Go to a hotel lobby. Just go do it somewhere outside. Do it in person. And why is that? Because in, end of the day, what you will find is meeting people online, there's a lot that goes behind that to become really good at that. But even when you're really good at it, you'll find that always the in-person meeting people, the like and trust that you can build, that face-to-face, belly-to-belly, or that APAC to APAC, I don't know, right? But there's something about these in-person meetings that is way more effective, right? It's like we said before, you can give someone a digital copy of the brochure, but if you gave them the physical copy of the brochure, it goes it goes way further. They can leave it on their table. Someone else might see it. They can pick it up and flip through it. If you send them a brochure on your phone, and they have 10,000 other messages come in, they're not going to see your brochure again. So something about tangible in person is always much more effective, right? And so my point though was, being at this coffee shop, you'll constantly encounter people. And as this person, as we're concluding the meeting, they were actually sitting in some, I think it was like a hotel lobby somewhere. And I said, by the way, is there anyone around you? And they said, well, yeah, there's actually the someone sitting, was quite empty, but I think there's someone sitting over there. And there was the, I guess the hotel lobby employee who was working there. I said, fantastic. I said, do you have your brochures with you? They said, yes. I said, fantastic. I said, right now, when we get off the Zoom call, I want you to just walk by there, say, hi, good evening. I just noticed you here, whatever, talk, just create some conversation. Say, no, by the way, can I give you this brochure? As you leave, pass by the hotel receptionist and say, good evening. How's your night doing? Long night, and, have some conversation. Oh, by the way, may I give you this before I leave? And they'll ask you, well, what is this? And I think you've all hopefully heard my training on how I explain what the brochure is, and talking about the scientists and the tree and all that good stuff, right? And then, so my whole point though was, whatever you do in this business, the biggest tip I can give you, I think this year, if you really want to turn your year around and have some solid differences, is whatever you do, don't stay home. Whatever you do, don't stay home. Get a bunch of brochures, get your FOL bottles ready, have one, get your spoons. We're going to offer everyone 10 free drops of the product, and get out there. Networking events. Look on Meetup, look on Eventbrite. Make sure this year, a good short-term goal is to schedule yourself some trade shows. Write that down, team. Trade shows. Well, we almost missed that one. Trade shows. Write down trade shows. The best way to have hundreds of people come by you. And on your trade show, you're going to have all the photos of our testimonials before and after printed out on your backdrop. Hello, right? I love how he always says that. Mavis has one book for the 26th of January. Fantastic. What kind of trade show? Any kind of trade show. Health trade show, National Women Trade Show, Franchise Expo. There's trade shows talk to a few team members, get together, book a trade show. That is leads going to you. You're not even looking for leads. They're going to come look for you, right? We talked about networking events. A great monthly goal. Add that to your monthly goal. Right now, team, go to a networking event, a few networking events each month. Write that down, team. Networking events, right? How about this? How about this year, if you have a hobby, enroll in one. If you like to dance, sign up for some dancing group. There's some free ones. If you like badminton like I do, join a badminton group. If you like tennis, join a tennis group. If you like to cycle, join a cycling group. If you like to, join Toastmasters, here's a good one. Go and join a local BNI, Business Networking International, or join Toastmasters. That's another good one. Networking events, right? Here's a cool one. Just go to the mall. Right? Go to the mall, and you're gonna walk around, and there's always a food court. I mean, what I used to do, true story, by the way. Oh, it's already 10 o'clock. Should we just end the call now and forget the last story? Okay. Okay. So I'll just, hey Lucy.
Please finish. Please finish. Yes, about the mall.
Okay.
Let's move.
Okay. Turbo version. Okay. Okay. So here's how I built Taiwan, actually, for those who don't know. So I didn't speak Chinese at all. 2011, my second son was born, Leon. And we went to Taiwan because my wife wanted her parents to have the chance to raise a grandchild, the first grandchild for them. And so what I used to do was I go to a Starbucks, and I would bring a few boxes of jewelry. So I had some tungsten, some silver, some necklaces. We didn't have FOL. We didn't have any of the Stay at Home Revolution. We only had fashion. Now you have other stuff you can bring with you, right? And I went to a Starbucks, and I just sat at a table. People probably thought I had an appointment with someone. I didn't. I didn't know anyone there. So I just sat at a table, somewhere kind of safe. Like it's going to be safe. But then I opened up all my jewelry on the table, and I had my coffee. I had my phone and my laptop there. And literally, everyone that walked by, what do you think they were doing? They're like staring at my table. And when I saw them staring at the table, I would say hello. Because the thing about Taiwan is most people don't speak English. So I went to some areas that I heard might have some more English speaking people. I sit there and wait to see who looks over. I say, hi, how are you? Because either you say ni hao if you speak Chinese, or you say hello. If you say hello, people automatically know you're probably not from Taiwan. And so I was trying to find the English speaking people. From that, I eventually met one lady who sat beside me, who led to her friend who was in Australia, who led me to her cousin named Freeman. And Freeman eventually taught me Chinese. We did so many meetings, and we opened up Taiwan together. And then our meetings that we had, we started booking meetings at the coffee shop. It's called Dante's Coffee, and there's like all these different coffee shops. In Taiwan, the cool thing is these meeting rooms, these big coffee places, they're massive. They're like a few stories high. And on the higher stories, there's big meeting rooms. And the only criteria to have a meeting room is every person buys a coffee. So then me and the team would go together and start having jewelry on the table, because we only had jewelry, but now other team had ordered bags, they had ordered a purse and a wallet and jewelry. We started putting a bigger collection on the table and kept attracting more people. So, there's no end to prospecting, but we have to break down this fear, right? It's like the doo-doo thing, right? A lot of it is just self-made, fear, false evidence appearing real. We make up these things in our minds. Well, they won't like it. They think I'm scamming them. They're not going to like me. With all these ideas, we cannot care about the people who do not have any significance in the development of your dreams. And there are people out there who are looking for FOL. So if you went to a coffee shop and you laid out some products, some fashion, I guarantee you, someone will look at you and just say, hi, how you doing? Right? Maybe they'll say good and walk by. Maybe they say good, oh, ask a few questions and then leave. But maybe you might get someone who becomes really interested and asks you, oh, by the way, what are you doing here? What's that? Oh, I was going to have a meeting with someone soon, but they're not here right now. I can tell you really quickly about, one of our coolest products called the Fountain of Life. And do you have a few seconds? Well, here's a brochure. The scientist, this tree, the story, right? That I always tell. And the one thing that I had to last thing, I promise. Can I share one last thing, Lucy, with you? Or do you have to go right now? Should we end the call right now?
No, please finish. You cannot stop now after that fire. Please finish.
Yeah. Thank you. Right. So last thing, and I think because again, I really try to prove my point with this daily goals thing, right? So I noticed that a long time ago that when I travel, for some reason, wherever I go to, hotel lobby, dinner, mall, anywhere as I'm traveling, I had no fear of prospecting people. Because I knew that I was new in the country and that when I left the country, that no one would remember, the person I was talking to would not remember me. So it's weird. I kept thinking, because I'm in a new country, I don't know these people, it's okay to go and prospect like crazy. It's not really embarrassing because when I leave the country, I'm going to be leaving in 2 days from now. It's weird. If you get what I'm saying, say I kind of get you. Does that make sense what I'm saying? Like sometimes in a new country, like you just, I know Maria, she's the same outside of Canada and in Toronto. Like she just talks to everybody. I think she thinks like she's not from Toronto, right? But for me though, like it's weird. I caught this about myself. So when I was doing that whole jewelry thing in Taiwan, I was thinking like, why didn't I do this in Toronto? It was so effective at meeting people. Why didn't I just go to a Starbucks in Toronto, bring my jewelry, open it up, and just sit there for a few hours and say hi, hand out brochures? And that's what I started doing. I realized it was all in my head. I was like, most likely you go to a coffee shop in your city, you won't see the same person ever again. So I think I was like psyching myself out. But it's interesting that I realized this at some point in time, because I was trying to, I guess, teach people what I was doing in other markets. And I realized, why am I not doing this in my own market? Right? Go to your find a nice hotel, right? That has a nice lobby with some coffee shop, and just park your butt there. Bring your brochures, bring your bottles, bring your spoons for the free 10 drops, and bring your laptop or whatever it is, and just work there with the intention of open some stuff on the table, of saying hi to people. I really hope you guys realize that there's no reason why we should not be talking to every single person that looks your way, because you can really help a lot of people with this product. So to end off with the daily goals, I really believe what you should have in your daily goals is handing out, at the very least, write this down, folks, handing out at least 20 brochures. Boom. If you hand out 20 brochures in a week, that'll be 100 brochures at least. And if you hand out 100 brochures, there's almost no way you won't sell at least a few bottles and get your VIP $200. Doing that weekly will eventually lead you to having a new LA or LA Plus once per month. And most likely it's going to build up your BQV to qualify for your monthly goals. So we went from the daily goals that, again, so I hope you see this whole reverse engineering it and break it down to like the day by day, what we got to do. So anyhow, wow, that was a fast call. And I hope that I was able to deliver an amazing call for the start of 2023. And I hope that you just don't let the doo-doo disturbers, disturb you, and that you realize that, any reason last year why you weren't talking to every single person that passed your way? Was it something that was in your mind and that really just smile, say hello, and be ready to share what you do, which is the story that I always talk about with FOL, the scientist, right? That's what I do, right? My company, Meta Scientist, that usual story, and be forensic. So anyhow, thank you so much, team. It's been a great time. And Lucy, wow, thank you for being our host of the month. And have a good night. Thank you.
Oh, wow, wow, wow. Thank you, Renee. You know what? You were actually meant to deliver this training this morning. It wasn't just by chance. And after the New Year's call and what you've just taken us through today, you were meant to be exactly where you are right now. You know, the tidbits you've given us are really priceless. I don't know what the others feel. I can see chats blowing, you know, all the accolades coming to you. And starting with that video for Denzel, you know, having goals, discipline, consistency, and action plans. I mean, this is amazing. But I loved what you said. No matter what happens this year, do not stay home.
Yes.
Do not stay home. So
Yes.
it was a fantastic way, Renee, to start the year. And again, it wasn't by chance. That's all I can say. You were meant to deliver this training this morning. Oh, sorry, to us it's morning, for you and it's night. But what a way to start a day for me. And to you, if you're going to go to bed, I do not know. I don't know how you're going to sleep after all this. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. Renee, this was amazing. Thank you very much.
Thank
Look forward to more. You know what? Have a forensic night, forensic day, forensic afternoon, everyone. I've just seen accolades, no question, anything, just comments. Renee, everyone is just besides themselves. They're wondering what next from here.
Oh,
You have given us the tools. So let's go and apply it. So,
I'll see everyone, of course, tomorrow night. We have our live tour again. The first tour of the year.
Of the
at
year.
our office. I know that Ottawa has their tour as well too. So again,
Yes.
every market should be having their in-person tour. So we'll see you all tomorrow night as well in the Toronto office. Yeah.
See you tomorrow. For the rest of us, is the FOL call, the Fountain of Life call, testimonial call. We are also starting, today for me, but for you tomorrow. So please do not miss out. Look out for the posters for the timing and also the link. Let us all be there. Let's invite our guests. We have to start this year with a bang. And Renee has just done it for us. All right.
By the way,
Forensic.
one last announcement, because we're just sort of planning this, Lucy. I know that you don't have the poster for it yet, but we are going to be, actually there's a boot camp happening. The Ottawa team is planning a boot camp for the end of January. Also in Toronto, there will be another boot camp, most likely on January the 28th in Toronto, from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. So just keep your eyes out for the poster, and we're going to be doing a lot more sort of hands-on workshop type training on how to prospect and close and all that great stuff there too. And so, yeah, again, thank you so much, Lucy, for being a host of the month. You've been awesome. Thank you, our family, and love you all. And to the billion. We're one team.
To the billion.
One dream. To the billion.
One team to the billion.
Okay, bye everyone.
Everyone.
Good night. Good night.
Good.